here's my theory for why GW won't use dropper bottles. The guy in charge of GW he's got to be shoving up his bum, right? They're little egg-shaped things.
We're not talking about GW. We're going to talk about bowling for soup.
Everybody, welcome to the FineCast, our second ever episode. I'm Sultan.
What, am I supposed to say my name now?
Oh my god, you're
Preferably.
not doing... Oh my god, this is gonna take us forever.
I'm just doing a bit, guys. I'm War Smith Chris.
Right, and I'm Brap Scallion. Right, listen to this. Right, bowling for soup. I heard the other day. Well, I was waiting for a pizza, and because I was gonna feed Sultan and all my cronies that were over, and the song "Girl All the Bad Guys Want" came on by Bowling for Soup, right? Chris, you know exactly what song I'm talking about.
I do too.
Right, so you know it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, she was
and
fit, the girl in that video.
I was listening to her lyrics, and it dawned on me, I spent all this time, all my life, like 15 years or whatever, knowing this song, and it is just utter horseshit, right? Because listen to this, right? He's going through the whole song saying how he's not compatible with this girl, and then he's saying, I still want to go out with her. He's a toxic guy.
That's toxic, yeah.
He's saying, like, she likes this music, I like this music. He's slagging off her music. He's saying, like, she likes motorbikes and I like mopeds or some shit.
Doesn't he say he likes Chemical Warfare or something?
No, Agent Orange is a punk band and she likes Godsmack.
Yeah, it's also a chemical.
No, I get it, but
hang on a minute.
He's not saying he likes Chemical Warfare. He's saying he likes punk music.
Does that mean that he is a bad guy, though?
Yeah,
if he's toxic.
He's a horrible dude.
Yeah.
So he's saying
she's
the
girl all the bad guys want.
Yeah,
yeah.
He is a bad guy.
So then he's even answering his own question.
Yeah.
So he should lead with that. He should go, "What's up, you bad bitch? I'm a horrible dude," and she'll be like, "Oh, I see."
I want you.
Go,
well, she doesn't necessarily want the bad guy.
Oh no, that's true. Yeah. Just the bad guy.
She just likes moshers. Do you know what I mean?
It sounds like she's just minding her own business, to be honest.
This guy.
Rollerblading about or whatever it was.
Do you remember that big lad who used to wear the dress in Bowling for Soup, and he used to he was a proper big lad. Now he's lost loads of weight, and the front singer put on loads of weight. They've just done a switcheroo.
Wow, that's crazy.
Do you reckon they did a direct swap?
I just reckon he got his metabolism caught up with him because he was a toxic guy.
Yeah. Can I tell you something? A genuine fact, and that is, I don't think I've thought about Bowling for Soup since.
Me neither.
I forgot that Bowling for Soup was a thing until you just said Bowling for Soup. But then as soon as you said it, I can just remember all of it. Like I just tucked it away in a little fold somewhere. I was like, I don't want to think about that. Even down to the big lad in the dress. Wow.
Four people, at least 4 people said, "Do you know what's a good name for a band? Bowling for Soup." And one of them might not have thought it, but they didn't say at the point where they were like, "Listen, lads, we're going to make it big. Are we sure we've got to go with Bowling for Soup? Because we're going international." And they all went, "Definitely."
Do you think it's one of those things where it was like it was a battle of attrition? Like they'd spent like 6 weeks just constantly going back and forth. No, let's call it let's call ourselves Phantom of the Chopra. That's terrible.
Nice.
What about rock and roll dudes? And then by the end of it, they were just like, someone said Bowling for Soup, and then was like, literally fuck it, whatever. I don't give a shit. Bowling for Soup.
Lead singer went, what about Toxic Terry +3? And he went, no. I'll tell you a real story from my old band. Well, it's my current band, but one of them's left. We had a song, right? And we didn't know what to call it. So, the guitarist rented like a little digger for his garden. Like, do you know what I mean? Like a little
little tiny
digger to dig up like a little hole for his shed or something. And on the side of the digging arm, it said Grave Master.
Whoa.
Which is one of the greatest things anything's been written on anything. Fucking Grave Master. So we called this song that we wrote at the time Grave Master, and I said absolutely not, but it was a working title, and it just stays like that. So probably the toxic lad went, "We're called Bowling for Soup," and the big lad in the dress went, "I wouldn't have thought so." But then it's like, right, well, we'll just call it that for now, and then the next thing
he was just there like, soup.
Yeah.
That was it.
The Grave Master presumably is a bespoke grave digging tool, though.
That's the only thing that we could think of. But also, if you are going to dig graves in a cemetery, don't put Gravemaster on the side of your vehicle, because I think it's quite disrespectful to people.
Why was
bringing
your
flowers
friend...
and shit?
Here's the real question. Like if it's meant for digging graves, why did your lad have it in his back garden?
Well, that's what
his brother got it. His brother got him the hire of it. No questions asked.
Got it cheap, mate.
We can get you a digger. Don't ask questions.
Slightly used
for the weekend. This is all true, by the way. This is all true.
Yeah.
A second-hand Gravemaster.
I feel like the Gravemaster is gonna have some kind of esoteric side gig for it. You know what I mean? It's like, rent out a Gravemaster, and then it does. I don't know. You can raise a portion of the graveyard. It's got to have some necromancy. Some deal going on with it, right?
What does it do? Does it just
haunted.
It just lifts its little claw arm and go right?
It's a cursed
and then
item.
everyone gets up.
Also, got to point out that it wasn't like the Gravemaster model. It was like a nickname on the side of it. Like you'd have like Fury on the side of a tank. Yeah. It was like, this is mine. This is Gravemaster.
Was the pilot, the operator? Was he like melded to the seat? And like he was part of the machine.
No,
just do it itself.
Just a skeleton.
I am the Gravemaster
with a top hat on, like slashes.
Do you want to know an interesting fact? And this might be a helpful fact for everybody. If you don't have rest in peace on your gravestone, you are drafted into the eternal skeleton war. So just keep that. Just remember that.
Do you think they say that at the co-op funeral home? They said, "And would you like rest in peace etched on your gravestone? It is an extra £400." Well, that's a lot. And they go, "Well, if you don't, you will be fighting the eternal damnation war for the rest of time. So it's a lot of money, yes, but it's also saves you a lot of scrapping in the netherworld. All right.
If you don't, Nagash is going to put his bony fingers up where your arse used to be,
straight through the pelvic bone.
Literally, though, they put you in the ground. Next thing you know, shield in one hand, sword in another. You're a bone man. You're a skeleton warrior. You got to wonder where they all come
so happy,
from.
Though.
Yeah,
to bring it back to Warhammer.
Yeah,
to bring it back to
we
Warhammer.
Just did, didn't we?
I know you like Age of Sigmar, Chris, and high fantasy, but I tell you what,
I don't like high fantasy.
Aussie Art Bone Reapers, it is a load of fucking horse shit. Like
what?
I used to like Undead. I can't really excuse the Skeleton Chariot because that wasn't made out of anything that used to live. But like, I can't get on board with weird skeletons. They've got to be like old-fashioned Jason the Argonauts, sword and shield, maybe a cackling skeleton. I can't get on with the Aussie Art Bone Reapers. I'm sorry.
Do you know what their deal is though?
Is they just like they just make it out of dust or something? I don't know. Tell me, Chris. Tell me.
No, it's but they're forged out of bone. They're bone magic. So you collect bones, then you turn them into bone warriors. But they're not being rebuilt in the form of they're not a skeleton that stands up. They're a creature.
That's what my dog is doing then. All those doggy bones.
I think
little necromancer back there.
Yeah.
I think if you go on bonemagic.com, you will get a full lore breakdown of the Aussie Art Bone Reapers and everything else. So
you'll also get a lot of viruses, but you should go check out bonemagic.com. I'm going to Google it right now.
Right. Okay, like while you're doing that, we're going to talk about an excellent topic this evening, and I'm very excited to talk about it. Yeah, I'm bringing a topic to the table. We're very loose. We're very loose in our structure on the FineCast, but we like to bring a main topic. But before we go on to the main topic, Sultan has got a face of concentration I haven't seen from him ever.
I just googled it and it doesn't exist, so I think that's a domain we need to buy.
Right, okay.
That's the FineCast website.
Oh my god, that could be our website. And it goes to like the link tree or whatever.
Yeah.
Sultan, how much is bonemagic.com?
I don't know. I'll have to have a look. However, there is such a thing. Bone Magic is a musical artist, and there's also another one. It says bonemagic@bandcamp.com. And underneath, there's another one called Meat Concrete, and that's one of his songs.
Meat Concrete.
Yeah.
Meat Concrete.
I like it.
Right, let's see how much Bone Magic is. Are you ready? If we're gonna do a Kickstarter, oh my god, Bone Magic is a penny for the first year.
Right. Bonemagic.com. It's happening.
Oh no, bonemagic.co.uk. If you want bonemagic.com, it's £2.
That seems a bit steep, actually.
We'll do a Kickstarter. Miniac can do a Kickstarter.
Yeah,
we'll do £40,000 in a day. We can get £2 to do Bone Magic, right?
Yeah.
I want the picture on the page, like the little icon, to be like a little skeleton dancing on a stripper's pole?
No, it's got to be a skeleton
bonemagic.com.
with the Doot skeleton with its
yeah,
trumpet,
with the Doot thing. But he needs like a top hat and a cape, so it looks like a magician.
Yeah.
Right, Chris, you're the IT guy, right?
Yeah, I'm an IT guy, mate. What's up?
I'm now gonna wire you £2, and you're gonna buy Bone Daddy and do the redirect, all right?
Bonemagic.co.uk.
Right, this is
bonemagic.com.
Yeah, we want .com. We're international. We're worldwide. Do you know what I mean? And I'm also gonna. I'm literally doing this over it now. I'm typing in bonemagic.com into the PayPal explanation. Right, review. And this is also a record that I own it. Right,
it's just a little dupe, man. That's what it's gonna be. We need to speak to Banner.
No, we're doing a redirect to all our podcasts. So if people want a podcast, if they want to find it'll do it to the link tree. If they want to find the podcast, they go on bonemagic.com and it'll come up. Chris, can you confirm that you've got the money?
I've got the money.
Fantastic. So when you're uploading this, while you're waiting for it to upload to send out to the wonderful people, we'll get
we'll go get Bone Magic
ready for
So
launch.
you know what he's actually going to do with that money? Rather than buy bonemagic.com, when we go to an event this weekend, we're going to go to Weekend at Bernie's, which funnily enough is actually one of the subjects of the video. He's just going to spend it. He's going to buy some
I'm going to buy
skeletons that you don't
I'm
like.
going to buy Brap, a monstrous.
We're going to have a 10 each.
But we'll get into that.
We're going to toast the victory. But yeah, so anyway, back to, I cannot believe we've already got a website. Episode 2, bonemagic.com. That's what, Chris, that's got to be the title of the episode.
Yeah,
so
bonemagic.com.
We've got to get them search engine optimizations going, bonemagic.com.
Right. What a shit fucking joke.
Oh, I love it.
Oh my God. I tell you what.
Right,
meat
everyone. And potatoes.
Let's start a Warhammer podcast, and then let's do search engines that everyone can understand. Or a War Games podcast, and let's do stuff people can understand. I know.
No inside jokes, guys, until we make our own.
Maggot Men and Bone Magic. Right.
Let's get to the meat and potatoes of the podcast.
Yeah, meat and potatoes, as Sam keeps saying, meat and potatoes.
The topic I'm bringing, right, is because we are going to an event this weekend. It's called Weekend at Bernie's. It's at the Factorum. It's in Warminster, in Somerset or Wiltshire or Bath or wherever it is. Down south. Somewhere.
It's down south. Somewhere. Yeah.
And
Somerset.
It's a Warhammer 40,000 tournament run by good friends of ours. But
I think tournament is stretching it a little bit.
An event. It's an event.
Also, Friends is stretching it.
Yeah,
Friends
is also stretching it. Yeah.
But we're going to a 2-day event, and I've seen this quite a few times of people who haven't been to events before asking for advice, or people who are thinking about attending an event and they're not quite sure. So I thought we could discuss, as now we're quite veterans, we've been to 3 or 4 each at least. I thought we could talk about how you survive a multi-day event or one-day event, how you survive an event with the community, what tips and tricks you guys have got, how you get through it, how do you make the most out of it, and how do you have the best time.
Before we go in, I've just got to say that weird noise here was Brap getting so excited he smashed his microphone.
Yeah.
I nutted it. I'm that excited.
There's going to be some varying opinions here because we've all had experiences with him, inverted commas, and we've all stayed together. We've stayed in the same house for a multi-day event, and I think that's going to have to come into it as well. So
I think that's going to be, for me, that's tip number 1. Look at the cheapest way to stay, because that's good. But if you can, I really enjoyed it. We got an Airbnb the last time we were down there. And that shared experience of staying in a house with a lot of people was really, really cool. And I recommend
preferred
that.
I preferred it to the event. I really enjoyed the event, but I preferred that to the event. It was so fun.
Yeah.
A pro tip when it comes down to the location of this place, there's a couple of things that you need to make sure you take care of as well. One of those is if you get somewhere that is at the top of a really steep hill that is literally just one long hill, and then a giant concrete staircase, and then another hill, carrying all your stuff. If you've got any lads
Chris,
in your
we were
group,
at the top of a hill. So where we stayed last time, lovely place. We called it the Murder House.
Yeah.
We got to the top of the hill. You go up this massive cobbled hill. You go up 2 concrete staircases, and then Chris decided to take the top attic bedroom.
Another
So
4
he had to climb like 4 flights of stairs to the top. And he was at the top, and it must have been like a fucking tuning fork, this house, because every time he snored, it shook. We were in a giant tuning fork. So here's my first tip number 1. Never, ever share a room with Warsmith Chris.
Yeah.
I mean it's a very generic tip that could apply to anybody attending any
everybody,
sort of event.
But if you're not sharing a room with him, you're doing it right. So you're done.
But you also have to watch out for Mikey P and Andy Byrne, 2 more DCTV major players. They also when we create a triangle effect, what's it called, like a trifecta or something,
triumvirate of Yanad.
If you're stuck in the middle of us, I mean, Michael can snore through like 2 ceilings worth because we stayed in a multi-story Airbnb one year. Yeah,
but so between us, apart your atoms.
Yeah. Lads, this no in joke or no name referencing in really niche people is going absolutely swimmingly, I might say, boys.
That's why I pointed out where they're from. Explicitly.
I think
earplugs.
Stopping with friends in an Airbnb is dead good, even if it's a little bit more money than it is. We stopped there because it was cheaper, because hotels in the area were dead expensive at the time. But this time, we're going to stop in a slightly nicer B&B, which is actually more expensive than hotels. So if you can, splash out a little bit, stay with your friends, because the vibe in the morning before the event, when you're having a coffee and you're sort of having a bit of breakfast together, or you finish an event and you have like a beer and a wine down. When we were winding down, we weren't having a lot of drinks or anything, but it was just that post-event, but in a really relaxed setting, so you don't have to go to a pub.
Yeah, we played Curse City as a group and just had a nice chill time.
Yeah, cool. I think that was, if you can do that, or if you can't, arrange with your mates and stay in the same hotel, because then me and Sultan did that when we went to Caerphilly to go to the Wild Wicked Wild Wild West in Cardiff. We stayed in Caerphilly, and afterwards we could go to the pub together that was just next to our hotel, because we're staying at the same hotel. So if you can, or if you don't know anybody, get into the community threads of the event that it is, whether it's in DZTV or it's on a WhatsApp chat or it's on like Facebook or something. Try and have that link with somebody before you get to the event, because it's dead nice, because just knowing someone you can go for breakfast with, or you can have a pint afterwards with, it makes
or share a lift into the event with, or something.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's generally going to be 1 or 2 places where everybody is going to book, which will be the nearest place. And if you can get in there, then if it's got like a pub attached or something, you'll generally find everyone will go back there and you can make some friends. If you don't have any friends, and you don't like anybody that you're going to the event to, book it in advance, because if you get them in months in advance, they're like Premier Inn's like 40 quid. Yeah, but then if you book it like a month beforehand, it's like 100 quid. So
timing is everything.
Timing is everything, Sam.
I've got another tip, and this is a big one. This is a big one, right? Drink as much water as you possibly can. As much water as you think that you should be drinking, double it at least. I take like a little steel like flask, like a little, like one of them reusable water bottles,
like a thermos.
It's like that kind of, but it's for water.
A water bottle,
planet and all that bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Water. Take a vessel if you don't want to buy bottles of water, but all the time you should be drinking water. It doesn't matter if you're drinking beer or not. Drink water, because for me, dehydration is the worst part of an event, because it just takes it out of you. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't think anyone realizes just how physically knackering playing 40k for 2 days is. It like batters you're standing up for a start for pretty much the whole time. Your brain meets having to do stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's like churning away.
Chris, we're big lads who sit down all day.
We try.
We need to get an independent adjudicator. Sultan, you have to be fit in both the looking and the exercise sense, otherwise you get sacked. Are you knackered after events?
Yeah, I'm mentally drained.
Thank God for that, Chris.
Also, I drink a lot. events, and I usually have a fair few beers at events, so the second morning or whatever is usually a bit of a pain.
Additional dehydration.
With me, I'd recommend. Yeah, I completely agree. I take a water bottle to every event, even if I'm in like a hotel, because you can just keep refilling it, keep taking it around with you. And another one, and it's like a short-term solution. And you guys are going to go well into like the weeds on this one, but caffeine, coffee. If you drink coffee,
fuck yeah,
it's worthwhile having occasionally topping up your fuel. And also, I would say it's a little bit difficult because I feel pretty rats after an event because I usually eat fairly well, but events you naturally gravitate towards
you eat like
bad
shit.
foods and things.
Yeah.
So one thing I'm considering for this event is just having a few healthier style snacks because you need to keep fueling up. Otherwise, you're going to get hungry and you're going to crash. And that's never a good feeling. You'll just be standing there half asleep. So get some food in you. Get some food in you.
Boring.
We talked about this beforehand. We had a little chat, didn't we, Brad? And beforehand we said, we're going to advise people just to fucking lean into it. Lean into the lifestyle hard. You're going to feel like
what
shit.
You need to do at the end of the 2 days, if you haven't had a heart attack, you're doing it wrong, is what you're doing it
completely wrong.
Chase the fucking dragon, baby. Go fucking mental. I don't drink. Right, so first of all, full fat Coke. You've got to fucking worship at the throne of full fat Coke. I don't drink it. I don't drink it when I'm at home at all, ever. I don't have it in the house. No. I don't drink it. When I go to an event, fucking game on, baby. Loads
Red
of
Coke.
I have at home. I have 1 coffee a day. At an event, I might have 2 coffees and full fat Coke and a diet
2
Coke.
coffees and a full fat Coke, James.
You've got to chase the bliss.
I drink like 4 or 5 coffees.
You've got to chase the bliss, and you've got to go fucking mad, right? If you want something to eat, get something to eat. Don't worry about anything. You've got to understand that you are basically feeling like depleted uranium at the end of it. You are decaying at a rapid rate.
Yeah, you're all used up.
Then you can repent. But if you try and course correct during the event, it's not gonna go well for you. Like if
that's why I understand. That explains why Brap smells like decay whenever we get towards the end of an event.
It's like rot,
reeking. Yeah,
depleting, bruv. But it's like if you're at the event and you're like, do you know what? I've had a day and a half of drinking full fat Coke and bacon sandwiches and pizza. If you have a bit of hummus and carrots, your body's not going to go, thank you for this gift. It's going to go, what the fuck? I need some more of that weird shit that you've been putting in me for 2 years.
I knew you were quietly judging me. We just filmed something and we went to Tesco to grab a little meal deal. And the choices were you could get like a little sandwich, which I did. And then it had like the snacky bit. And I chose some hummus and carrots because I like a bit of that. And I know what he just said, he's been sitting there silently judging. It's been stewing. It's been sitting in his head for 3 days now.
Chris, Sultan had chicken salad sandwich, hummus and carrot batons. I had chicken and bacon sandwich with some fucking paprika max crisps and a full fat cherry Coke. I thought, I'm on my holidays. I was at my house, but I was like, I'm on my holidays. And then Sultan had like a juice or something as well. No, that was different because that was a bit more chill. And also, we were standing up all day, but that was just at the start. I'm talking about an event where there's loads of people, you're always in inverted commas on talking to people. If you're an introvert like me as well, that's really tough. So it's like, fucking go for it. But drink loads of water as well in between. Then you'll be hydrated and you'll be sugared up to fuck, so it's fine.
Also, don't go to the toilet at all. So when you've had all this drinks and water, the pain of your bladder is going to keep you going, and you're going to be like, I can do this.
It's like the
and by the end of it, you'll be playing Admech or whatever, and you will be like, my blood is gasoline, and you'll be like playing this thing. You'll be playing this thing. All these chemicals will be backing up your system. Yeah. And you're going to come on a combat stem come down at the end of this. But, until then, you're going to be like frothing at the mouth and shaking about. And then you're going to do the thing where you're going to now I'm going to charge. It's like, you're going to charge with Admech? Like, yeah, I'm going to charge. And then you're going to win the game. Everyone's going to hate you, but you're going to be a winner.
I don't know if it's safe advice, but I don't care, because if you listen to this podcast for safe advice, then you're a nutter. But you have to combat stim up. Like, you have to, as Sultan said, you have to stim up and you have to get through it. We're telling you how to have a good time, not telling you how to have a safe time. But if you drink lots of water, you feel a bit better. Have a full fat Coke, treat yourself to a coffee. Understand and appreciate that you're going to eat shit, but that's okay.
Find a drug dealer, find a prostitute.
I'm not saying that, but when you come back from it, then you can eat healthy and have a week of healthy eating. Also, as well, if you want a beer at 3:00 in the afternoon, you fucking have that beer.
Have a beer. At 3 in the afternoon. Or 2 in the... have a beer at 12 o'clock.
Fucking do it. Because what you think in your head, I'll pace myself. Number one, it won't make a difference. Because you're still going to be dehydrated and knackered anyway. So unless you have like 6 beers in the space of an hour at 12 o'clock, I wouldn't advise that. But just slowly, when I went in Cardiff, I was having like a beer every hour, and I started at 2 or 3. Nice buzz all the day, having a real fine time. But just if you think, oh, I'd quite fancy that, then just fucking go for it. Because you're on your holidays and you've got to chase the dragon. My next tip. Go on, sorry, Chris. Go on.
Yeah, I've just got to say that from experience now, right? You do not want. Listen, he's telling you to go and have beers. Let me tell you a story, right? This is the story of Chris, who was the ugliest boy in the town, right?
No relation.
I drank a lot of alcohol that was being given to me for free at an event, a 2-day event, right? And I drank a lot of it. And the next morning, I had to play games of Warhammer. Extremely hungover. That was the least fun thing I think I've ever done. Like, being hungover and playing Warhammer was the least fun thing I've ever done. So I made a conscious effort to not drink as much.
That brings me on to my first point. Don't drink shitloads on night 1. I've got it written down.
Night 1.
That's the important thing, right? So it's like when you're on holiday. It's the same rules apply because you are on your holidays. You know when you get somewhere and you're on like a city break or whatever, and you get there and you're like, this is amazing, this is new, this is fancy, I'm in another country or I'm in another city I've never been to. What should we do? Should we get proper fucked? It never, like, you're so excited. You're excited to be there. You're excited to be around people. Don't let that get the better of you. Have a beer, have a nice time, but don't go overboard. Because you're right, Chris, because remember, it's a multi-day event, so you've got to pace yourself with excess. I'm not saying pace yourself with treats or stims, but don't pace yourself with loads and loads of beers.
Yeah, I'm going to throw out a really boring bit of advice. And this is when we were talking about getting the hotels.
That's
stuff.
what you're here for, Sam.
Get a good night's sleep if you can. Go out and have fun. But, like, if you can get some quality hours of sleep in, because as Chris said, being hungover and being tired, you're not going to enjoy yourself because you're going to be sat there in the morning. You'll be cradling your coffee or your Monster Energy drink and your cigarettes, as Chris will do. But like, I'll be sat there with my coffee and I'll just be sat there like, I'd actually rather be at home right now feeling sorry for myself as opposed to getting ready to play quite a mentally challenging game.
Yeah, try to remember which Necron code that you're on or whatever. It's like,
I don't care. I'm just going to roll some dice. I'm dead.
If you follow that moment and you get a bit too caught up and you stay up a bit late and you think, this is really good and I'm enjoying myself, my plan of stimming yourself to fuck also works because you just like chase your bliss. And if you cross that bridge, don't stay out just for the sake of it. But if you're having some beers and you think I'm enjoying this, don't stay up too late, but enjoy yourself. And the next day, have loads of full fat
stim up so hard.
Go fucking hardcore, bruv. Just
stay close to the toilet, you know. Yeah.
No, because you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to purge your system. You already gave the advice that you need that all built up in there, so you're not allowed to throw up piss or shit.
Yeah.
So that you can be full.
No releasing of any fluids. Next tip. This is important. This is
no
very
tears.
Important.
No
right,
tears.
Whenever you can, sit down. That is my top tip.
It's actually a very good point.
Yeah. It is a good point.
30s, but also I understand. To be honest with you, everyone who's listening to this is probably a Warhammer fan in the 30s or getting to 30 like Sultan is. We're all old, knackered lads.
Yep.
26, thank you.
If there's a chair, get a chair, and whenever you can, rest your feet.
Stroke one out.
Well, I mean, that would help as well.
That was in the hotel advice section.
Yeah.
You're
reading
your own.
the wrong section.
No,
half an hour before you've got to get up.
Little hand shandy,
let's go.
as you call it.
A quick game of pocket billiards. Treat yourself. Right.
Treat yourself.
Sit down. Get a chair. When it's your opponent's movement phase is my favourite. When it's your opponent's movement phase,
That's when you've not gone out.
These models are driving
really
me wild.
It's an army of Gretchen, Jesus.
Rest your feet whenever you can, because then later on, when people are standing up and talking and you want to chat or you want to go somewhere and stuff, because standing up all day, for somebody for me who's got like an office job, it's an alien concept.
It's rough.
So my feet are howling at the end of the day.
Yeah. It's a little known fact that your feet carry you.
Oh.
So rest them. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's nice.
It's advice. It's advice for that. Unless you're on a team with me and playing Warhammer, in which case I'll carry you because I'm the bad boy of Warhammer. That was a good one.
Like we've just been married. Yeah.
Yeah. What else have I got? Another one. I've got a really good piece of advice here as well.
Yeah.
Right. When you get there, there's usually going to be a shop in there at the event. There's a shop.
There is always
Warhammer stuff. Not always, because it might be in like a village or some shit like that, right?
That's true.
But if there is, know beforehand, have a list of models and supplies you want to buy if there's a shop there. Now, I'm not saying for the idea of self-restraint or anything like that, because I'm not going to sit here and go, only buy what you want. People go mad and buy loads of mad shit. But write a list of stuff that you want, because if you forget it, you'll feel like an idiot. So if it's like something boring, like you've run out of a bad and black paint, or on this weekend when we go down, I need a tin of Chaos Black spray paint, and I tell you what, now I've revealed that if people buy that shop out of it, I'm gonna instigate the tournament officials' prerogative, and I'm just gonna snatch it from some fool's hand.
He's just gonna assault you.
But just.
He's going to roll 2d6 from across the room, and he does mortal wounds on the charge.
Make a list of the boring stuff that you want, because if you make that list, you won't feel daft. And also, the boring stuff, buy it as soon as you get there so it doesn't sell out, and then you've got it, and then you can just carry on and enjoy the time. And if you want to buy models and shit, then go to the till multiple times, but first time, buy the essentials as soon as you get there. That's my tip.
Well, I think I don't agree with that tip.
All right.
I think if we're going to encourage people to just stim up and go nuts, I think don't go there with a list. Go there with the dreams of everything you've ever wanted to buy in the past and in the future. Just go fucking nuts, mate. If you've got a credit card...
you misunderstand me. I'm not saying I'm going to buy one box of Space Marines and that will do for me. Thank you. I'm going to have
the blue biro. And
I'm
going
to have a 7 out of 10 time, and that will be it. I mean, like, for the boring shit. So when the paints that you need, and like, if you need green stuff, or you need super glue, or you need spray paint, I'm talking about boring hobby essentials, or there's a kit you really want. Make a list of the boring stuff, and then the second round of purchasing is the wild boys. When you see someone buying like that Star Wars Legion starter set, and you're like,
"Yeah,
I'm getting one of them. I'm getting one. Fucking hell!" Hey, that's what I'm saying. Like, just make sure you've got the building blocks, so you don't have to then spend £6 on element delivery on spray cans. The week after,
I get it.
like a dick.
Yeah, because then on the Sunday, go on, Chris.
I was going to say, just do you write a physical list? Do you actually write? Are you talking about getting a pen and paper, or are you talking about a mental list? Or...
I've got an app, like I've got a to-do list app. I use Microsoft To Do, so I've got like a purchase list for 40k, and I remember something and I whack it down on there, and then when I go, or you just start a note or something, so it's on your phone. I'm not saying remember to take a list, remembering to buy some shit
in your back pocket.
Yeah,
fold it
up. Write a note on your phone or something, or DM yourself on Discord, which you can do, and then you tick it off, and then as I said, then you're not thinking, you're not like annoyed with yourself, because it does my nutting when I forget stuff.
Yeah, I would also say, and here's a tip kind of related to this, in that getting the boring stuff done first, like buy your paints or whatever. Also, like before you go to an event, if you know you've got to go back and go to work, so you couldn't get a day off extra to recover or whatever, you've got to go back and go to work the following day, get all your admin for your life done that day before you go, because you're going to be fucking seeing through time when you come back.
Yeah, you're
going to be so essentially coked up.
Full fat coked up, yeah.
And also you're going to be full of vomit, piss, and shit, and you're going to be shaking, and you're going to be speaking in binary. You need to have done everything like washing, or get so you wear a uniform to work, or wear a tie or whatever. Get that sorted the day before you go, not when you come back, because you're going to do the worst ironing you've ever seen. It's going to be terrible.
I haven't ironed in 2 years. I want to... this would be a good test, Chris, when we're at the event, if people have listened to this shambolic show. If Sultan goes to the toilet, and then somebody goes, "Excuse me, you said that you couldn't purge."
No purging!
No, I said you couldn't purge.
I think it's
I'm
great.
going in there because no one's purging. I'm going in there to get a little stroke on, you know? So I'm excited.
It's a ploy.
Everyone here's so full of stuff.
It's a ploy to turn an FLGS's toilet into Sultan's personal wank furnace.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
It's,
like,
no, what it is, it's a ploy.
It's all for me.
It's a ploy to turn the toilet into a nice haven instead of a horrible stink pit.
Fuck
Yeah,
me.
after like 20 blokes have just gone in and shat and pissed everywhere.
Chris, I
20
always,
big lads.
I always say this, right? I always say this. Element toilets when we're king of the north. Fuck me. I always say this when
the doors don't close.
I always say this when a toilet's bad. I say it smells like a festival. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, festival toilets are a special kind of smell. Like, they are.
You want to look down and see that liquid.
When I was at Download, someone took a shit in the urinal. That's what a festival is.
So it's like, Element smelled like a festival by the time we'd finished. Like, 90 big lads absolutely assaulted that porcelain. It's
awful, isn't it? Yeah.
And then just me in tears in the corner, breaking my own rule about crying.
Speaking of chasing the dragon and I think we should say chasing your bliss, because some people might take chasing the dragon the wrong way, and then they might be having their own games of 40k.
Use
in their head.
DZTV Sultan at your local drug dealer to get 25% off.
Sultan was fucked on one of the nights because he had a few beers, and someone gave him a pie, like a pork pie, and he was eating it like an apple crisp, like a hand fruit.
I was hungry, man. That pie
That's how you eat
saved
it.
my
That's how
life.
you eat
And
it.
back to the tip of fuel up, eat. It was a big pork pie, and I ate it like it was an apple.
Yeah,
it was great.
Chris, you need to understand, this is not like a pork pie that what you're thinking of, like a snack human one person. It was a family big Melton Mowbray like, and he was eating it like a big. It was more like a cantaloupe than it was an apple.
It was like 2 minutes. It was gone.
It's going deep into it, but that's a good point, Sultan, as well. Whenever you can, if there's a break or anything, whenever there's a window, go and have something resembling a square meal. It doesn't have to be like boring. It can be McDonald's, it can be burger, it can be nonsense, whatever. But you have to try and get those meal times in.
Yeah, getting the food in.
I'll just wait till my mate's ready or something like that. Go in groups of 2 or 3. Don't wait for big bunches of people, because your time will be up and then you'll be fucked. Also, come to terms with the fact that you are going to spend £17 on something from Beefeater or whatever the fuck's next to the Premier Inn, and it's going to be awful, and you're going to spend loads of money on it, but that's just the way it is. There's fuel.
So I have this
Theon Greyjoy's wang comes out of a hot dog box. And you're like,
I was literally about to say that. I've got this memory of seeing your face, Sultan, as I looked down, as you opened this box, and there was this huge sausage in it.
Was wrinkly as
well. There was nothing fucking on it. It was just we ordered a hot dog. It was a piece of broken bread, like almost like a piece of white sliced bread, and a massive sausage with nothing on it. And I paid £5 for this. I was like, what the hell? So that's why I'd say, depending if you know where you're going and you know what the food is like, this is why I say maybe pack some snacks.
Like a whole family-sized pork pie.
It was all wrinkly. That's what I remember about that sausage. It was really like well cooked. I don't mean like well done, chef. I mean like it was really like it had been to the oven for about 4 hours.
That sausage was older than me. It'd seen some shit. That sausage had been to Nam. All right.
It looked like the sausages that I see in my specialist videos of some old lads having it. It was wrinkly as all hell. Having it. Roping one out. In a circle, you know the videos.
In a FLGS toilet.
Yeah. I'm going to take some pictures and put them up on the walls in
You know, Brap's going to be at the FLGS this weekend. He's going to be sat in the toilet, weeping
with my
because he's going to be told not to. He's going to have his belt undone, playing pocket billiards as he calls it, listening to Bowling for Soup.
what a time with my can of Monster Energy. Also as well, in the spirit of chasing your bliss, Chris is a big fan, even though Chris is in his 30s, like I am. Chris is the only person of our age that still drinks Monster, and I
specifically Monster Nitro. Can we?
I chastise him for
extra shot of death.
But to be fair, Chris, you're chasing your bliss, and I've got to be.
Mate.
And do you know what? For the listeners at home, I bought Chris a can, and it's here. I'm looking at it now. I forgot to give it to him. I bought him a can of, it's called Monster Energy Assault, which is for a liquid that you're supposed to ingest is insane, but it's basically a can of Monster that's got camouflage on it.
Yeah,
and then
I bought that for you.
You bought it for me?
That's
did you?
good.
Yeah, I bought it for you. You didn't buy it for me. You were supposed to drink that, and you didn't do it. So you've got to bring it along.
When that gets in your body,
and neck it.
That is going to just commit assault on your heart. It's going to start shooting it with rifles, axes, everything. God,
Chris,
that's
I'm bringing it down for you. I can't have this.
You're having
I
it.
will die.
We're going to neck one each. Honestly, not going to neck it because that will kill you.
I tell you what. I'll bring it down for you, and I'll try some. Because I can't say chase your bliss, shoot for the moon,
you can't,
and then not try a bit of it. Do you know what I mean?
You know,
I'll
the
call
best
an
combo.
ambulance preemptively.
Yeah, pop outside. Two big lads will spark up a tab, right? Tab, for the people that don't hang around with Northerners, a tab is what you call a cigarette.
What did you call them? A liggin?
No, we called it a liggin. That's our
liggins, mate.
Comedy.
For
a liggin.
Warhammer nerds, it's a low stick.
But yeah, want to buy some death? Yeah. So you strike up a liggin, which actually that word was taught to me by a mate from Warrington, but apparently I don't know where that liggin is from. But anyway, have a cigarette on, have a fag on, and a tin of Monster, and that's class. That's
it's just what the doctor didn't order.
Yeah.
But
gonna break my lungs and my heart same time.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, in every element of the word, to get yourself through, treat yourself. Buy some nice things within reason. Like, don't go to you're gonna die. Treat yourself to a bit of treat food that you wouldn't normally have. Some full fat Coke that you wouldn't normally have. The extra coffee, the extra box of models. Go big, and also we were discussing this as well. Take a day off after the event. It's so important.
If you can, yeah.
Now, like Sultan's saying, if you can, but if you're taking a whole weekend off for Warhammer and you're playing Warhammer, you've probably likely got that in your ability. I know that everyone doesn't, but if you can, build it into the planning. Go to one less event and then do 2 events right with a day off after.
Yeah.
Because the
Plus,
day
I will
off after is so good.
Yeah, I will guarantee you'll come back inspired to paint as well, and you won't have time to paint because you've been there all weekend. So you can use that day to recover and do a bit of chill hobby if you want to.
I love that. Paint sesh after an event because it's you're so inspired and so up for it. Also, another thing as well, you can book if you do that. So I'm doing it this weekend. I'm staying the last day of the event. We're staying over on that night as well. So the next day is super nice and chill. Nice, easy way to get home. No stress. You've got an easier drive. And then you've got that afternoon to hobby. So 1,000,000% take the day off after because you'll be so thankful. Because I went to Chris's event and it was in Wickham, which is like 3.5 hours away from me.
Ooh.
And we finished up at Chris's event at like 6 o'clock, 6:30. Then I drove home and worked the next day. So it was like, I got home about 10:30, 11 o'clock. And then I saw my wife and I was like, how you doing? Gotta go to... And she was already like in bed, like asleep. And I was like, right, gotta go to bed.
So she didn't reply then.
So you walked in, how you doing, love? And
she
went,
asleep. Shut up. She went, who the fuck are you? Burglar? And
don't do what I did.
And then I woke up the next day and I was just like, it's not that I didn't enjoy the event, but it definitely takes a bit of the shine off it because you're then thinking... I've got to crack on and do a day's work the next day. And
well, it's the Sunday blues, isn't it?
Yeah.
You get that. You get
well,
that.
That's I start at 5:30 after this event, so I finish the event on the Sunday, and I have to get in the car at 5:30 next morning. We just did one. Brap, we were at your house this weekend, just gone.
Yeah.
Filming some stuff for Hobby Apocalypse, and I got home about 4 o'clock. And then my mum comes over every Sunday, and she popped over to see Jess anyway, knowing that I might not be there. And I said, "Let's say hi to her." They went. I then had to sort out my uniform, had to sort out my food for the week. I work away during the week. Sort my food for the week, pack the dog stuff. Then I had time to do a little bit of hobby, and then I went to bed like early at like 9 or 10 because I was absolutely knackered because I hadn't slept well the night before. And then up again at 5:30 this morning, and it was pretty gross.
I know.
So I would have completely agree. One other thing I would mention about the end of an event, and Chris, you mentioned this when we were at the DZTV narrative event. when we'd had a few big meals, like in the evenings before, like what we call a dirty Gert burger.
Yeah,
we were staying before.
We were packed
and then we
with
had
meat.
some pizza and stuff, and you're just like, I need to eat something healthy. And I know that's boring, but you need something to flush your system after all those stims.
Well, the thing is as well, the day after, if you've got that day off and you get back, you can make yourself something that's resembling human food once again, and you can adjust, and you've got that time. Whereas if you're at work the next day, it might be a case of you've just got to get something to eat quick, and you're feeling crap because you've been at work, so you're just like, right, well then I'm just gonna have something because I'm knackered at work, and you're adding to the problem. And I'm
having 6 Greggs sausage rolls. That's what I'm having.
You got to have that moment of calm, and
all at once.
The hobby. It's hard to explain to your significant other, isn't it, when you get back from a full weekend of playing games and you are chomping at the bit to paint or build because you've been sat there looking at possibilities all weekend, and they go, you've just come
just
from a
done
weekend
that
of
for 2 days,
and you go, no, you don't get it. It's not the same. I've been playing, not painting.
It was a different aspect.
Yeah.
I totally did it, and it definitely doesn't help. Let alone being in a shop and playing your games. You go, I want to add to my army I've got now. It doesn't help if you know someone like Stylus who's always building lists and he's suggesting things. Oh, if you did this and did this army, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
So basically, the event just gone. I was chatting to Stylus and Monkey about the possibility, and after this podcast we did last time, I was like, I really want to do White Scars. And then Stylus was like, oh, you could add incursors because they'd be cool. And then he made the little offhand mention of, their super doctrine is they do 2 damage. I was like, what? Yeah, every melee attack is an extra damage. And I was like, I'm doing White Scars. Outriders doing 2 damage. I was like, okay.
That's ridiculous.
Okay.
Isn't it?
So the first thing I did when I got home after dying for a few hours was I painted a bike, and I'm like, okay, now I've got to do this. So that's the problem. All right. So the solution is take a day off. The problem is you really want to paint and you might not get time.
Yeah.
Chris, there's
Brap.
So I want to know what camp you fall into here. I think I know, but I want to hear it from your lips, right? So we had this meet up at the weekend where we're doing a series called The Hobby Apocalypse for DZTV, Deployment Zone TV, where we're collecting and doing video, collecting vlogs, or we're collecting an army, right? So 4 of us are doing it. Yeah, Taylor Fall of Warlords. So for Warhammer 40k. 4 of us are doing it. We all met up at my house and played little games that we're hopefully going to release a video of on the Deployment Zone channel, chronicling those games and having a bit of a laugh. Had an amazing day of gaming. The next day, we went to breakfast, right? 2 of us, me and Monkey, another guy that's doing the challenge, sitting there, having a lovely time, looking out across Penwitham where I live, enjoying the sunshine, having a coffee, having a juice. Other 2 of us, Stylus and Sultan, were sat there on Battlescribe, sorting out lists and constantly looking at Battlescribe to figure out new ways to inflict pain. This is the day
on
after,
each other, mind.
When we're sat in a cafe, a lovely cafe, mind, having breakfast. Chris, which one of those 2 camps do you belong in?
Mate, you know which camp I belong to.
You'd be with us, wouldn't you?
I'd be sat out there with a juice. I'd have a tab on. Tin of breakfast monster, which
I was. I'll be honest. I was struggling. I'd had a couple of beers at Braps the night before and a couple of nice cocktails, and I hadn't had much. So a couple of things. I hadn't slept very well because I'd had a few drinks, and then I wasn't feeling great because I'd had a few drinks. And I was very, all these things adding up, and I'm just like, I just need to not involve myself in this conversation for a second. I'm just staring at I just beep, beep, beep. I did nothing productive on that app, Brap.
I just need Battlescribe. The Battlescribe.
You're like, what are you gonna do next for the Hobby Apocalypse? So I don't know.
No, Sultan. You went. What is the conversation? I was not listening. Like that.
Yeah. You guys were discussing like the next phase of some more filming to do, and then everyone was like, yeah, cool, that's a deal. Then I was like, what?
I'll be honest, I wasn't listening. But Chris, it's good.
I wasn't.
It's good
so
to
tired.
hear that you'd be in the leisure camp, and that's. Do you know what I'm gonna say?
It's
that's
good.
Another piece of advice that I give as well is that try and have those moments that aren't necessarily about Warhammer if you can. So go out for a beer if you can, or just talk to someone about something that isn't Warhammer. It's an amazing
breakfast, coffee.
Yeah,
chill,
breakfast is a really good time. Like, you're gonna talk about Warhammer at breakfast because that's what you've all got in common. But do those little things. Like, if you're thinking, oh, I'll just grab like a bacon roll or something from Subway, that's fine too. But try and go for like a sit down meal with people and try and have that extra, input.
Right, final points, guys.
Go.
What are we wrapping up? What's the summary here, Chris? Do you want to take a summary?
So my overall summary and my so a few extra tips I didn't get in there is, if you want to enjoy the weekend to its full, tone down the drinking. My personal opinion, tone down the alcohol because
Agreed.
you're going to feel like shit way too often. Make sure you're hydrated. And also, if you get an Airbnb and there's like 6 of you, try and get one with more than one toilet and bathroom.
That's such solid gold advice. Chris, we've got this time. I think we've got as an adverse reaction. I think our Airbnb has either got 4.5 or 5.5 toilets to 7 of us. Now I don't know what the half means, but I'm very excited to find out. I'm very excited to find out.
So it's just a hole with no flush.
But yeah, we've gone the other way. We've gone full hog and gone for. But yeah, one bathroom is a struggle. That's a great piece of advice.
Yeah, for many lads, and I think I was like 4th in or something on the first day we were there, and there was so much body hair already in the bottom of the bar.
Which, considering most of you are bald, is worrying, right?
Yeah, it's not the good hair. Pubes.
It's not the good hair.
Just back hair and pubes. It's so bad. But my wrap up is what is if you're gonna. You got to decide, if you're going to drink, you're going to have a drinky weekend and it's not going to be very Warhammery. If you don't drink, then you can do Warhammer and have a good laugh with everyone. But there's no particular way it is better than the other. But playing Warhammer hungover is my least favourite activity. There we go. That's me.
There we go. Brap, any final points from you for this main subject?
Chase your fucking bliss, baby. Like, don't drink too much, but like, drink a little bit, have a little bit of full fat Coke, have some coffee, have some naughty meals. Just push yourself, keep pushing yourself all the way through, and take those stimulants and get stimmed up to.
You'll either win the tournament or die.
Yeah. But either way, you'll have a fucking amazing diabetic time doing it. Do you know what I'm saying?
My final thing, and then the boring ones, is I completely agree. Don't drink too much because you want to enjoy the following mornings. Try and get some sleep in where you can. Eat some good meals and prep your admin before you leave. So when you come back to, if you live alone, you come back to a clean house. If you're going to work the following day, you come back to your stuff ready to go, so you don't have that stress and the Sunday blues.
Can I throw something else in there? Just off the back of that, when you say prep your admin, also prep your admin for the game as well, because don't draw when you're at these events. Drawing the games out longer than they need to be is also pretty
agreed. Yeah,
that's
horrendous.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah. If you've got like a even if it's just a few bits that you need to remember, so you're not constantly standing there flicking through your phone, which is something that I'm really guilty of doing.
Yeah.
I think everyone does it a certain amount, but having it all to hand is really handy.
I have a spreadsheet. Like, there's a few of our friends that swear by a spreadsheet, and I do. So I don't do it for single games because it's not worth the time invested to type into a spreadsheet. But if I'm doing a multiple day event, I've got a spreadsheet template for the same army. I've got a spreadsheet template. I fill it in, and then I put in potential. This is for Warhammer 40,000 for potential stratagems on the side of each unit and stuff like that. So even if you just do a super basic cheat sheet on Microsoft Word where you write out a few stratagems that you might use and when you can use it, or things that you might think you can forget, admin for the games are also super important. Because anytime that I've over prepared with a spreadsheet, like last time I went to the DZTV narrative event, I did my Tyranids on a spreadsheet. They were all to hand. I had such a good time because I didn't worry about forgetting shit because it was all just written down in front of me. So that extra hour I spent on a spreadsheet it saved me so much drama in the game. So yeah, and my games were quicker. So yeah,
lovely.
It's good. Good. I'm glad we got that little point in. That's a good point. That's a very good point. So that's the rundown of how to survive an event, or how to survive an event long enough to die at the end. So there's that. I got a little bit of lore that's sort of a bit interesting, essentially, to wrap up on. So Orcs. Yeah, big green-skinned aliens we all quite like. So I heard the story of this war boss. I forget his name, but basically he was going to lead a war into a deeper system, and he got together all his boys, and he's leading this war. He's like, "Yeah, let's go." So anyway, he's famed for having a really good shooter, a really good gun, and he loves his gun like he loves a baby. So anyway, they go off into the warp and accidentally get sucked into a warp rift, and end up exactly where they started 2 days before they left.
Whoa! Okay.
And he's like, "What?" So he and his boys are now like duplicated. So what does he do? Does he go and join forces with this and make become twins with this guy and lead a massive war to start fighting the Tau? Does he B, get stuck in, fight himself, or does he C, just go off again, do his own thing? What do we think happens?
Did you say the orc got sucked off?
What?
Because I didn't know they had knobs. Apart from mega knobs, am I right, guys?
Mega knobs.
I'd like to point out this is a serious thing. This is your candidacy for remaining in the podcast, guys. Choose an answer.
So
okay.
So hang on. Option A.
So the options are he joins forces. Breaks a few heads as you do, and then he goes off and makes they become like almost like a clone army, like a duplicate army, and they go off and start wrecking the town. The town is super confused.
Yeah.
B, he's an orc, so he just starts fighting them.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
But
he'd fight himself. He'd fight himself because it would be the ultimate
Orcs are going to fight themselves. They'll love it,
but
right?
why would he fight himself? Here we go. Okay, because correct, he does fight himself.
To get his gun.
He fights himself.
It's to get his gun back.
Yeah, so what he does, he loves his shooter, so he goes back, he realizes he's back in time, he finds himself, shoots himself, because now he has 2 shooters.
Nice.
That is it. That is all he does. So if you went back in time and met yourself, what would you do? What would be your thing?
I would suck myself off.
Yeah, I wouldn't shoot myself. I don't know. I'd probably.
I'd kill myself. Straight away. Hang on. We are. Listen, this is what's going to happen, right? Everyone says this, like, well, we could be a team. We could do this. If you go back in time and see yourself, either you're killing him or he's killing you, because no one's going to understand there's 2 of you. So if you don't kill him, he's killing you straight away. And as soon as it's either you figure it out first or he figures it out first. So if you're lucky enough to figure it out first, kill that motherfucker. Kill him
guns
dead.
blazing.
Kill him dead.
But what happens when if they find the body?
So
what are you gonna say? You killed this person. What myself? I'm here, bruv. And then just let him figure it out. What you want about?
I'd confuse the fuck out of people and like work together in that like
kill you.
I'd leave a room. I'd walk through a door and be like, oh hey guys, and they let me in, and then my clone or like my other me just shows up again. Like, oh, can I come in? Like, you just went through what? And then like just do shit like little mind bending things like that, and they're like, oh my god, we're in the Matrix.
Yeah, but the first time your
believe
mates
they're in a computer program.
Yeah, the first
I'd
time
be 2 NPCs walking down the street.
The whole joke would be over, wouldn't it? You'd get to do it once.
Okay, no, I changed my mind. I'll do a prestige.
Then he's gonna smother you in your sleep.
Well, that's weird. It still fulfills the promise. As far as Brap's concerned, it still fulfills the prophecy of killing herself. So it's fine.
Yeah.
It's unequivocally true. Because what happened then, right? Your partner. So for you, Sam, Jess goes, "Oh, there's 2 of you," and the other guy will look at you and go, "Well, you've got to fucking die because I was here first. Then you're dead, right?" Or then the police find you and then put you in some tubes or something, and you've got to go and sit in underground in tubes.
In some tubes.
They probably would, yeah.
Get on the underground, lad.
My favourite is when people say, "Well, what we could do is we could split work shifts, and one of us could go off on one of because it's like that ain't happening either." Because then the other guy will say, "I ain't going to work today. You're going to work today," and then you're going to kill them. You kill each other.
Yeah,
kill them.
It always ends in death.
Yeah. When you come up against any slight inconvenience against anybody else in real life, when you say like, they say James because that's your name. They say, James, can you pick up this extra shift at work? It's like, no, I got to kill you. Sorry.
No. It only applies
straight to murder.
This only applies to past or future Brap. It doesn't apply to like colleagues or someone.
There's rules here. Yeah, he's got some morality.
Minor inconvenience. Like I don't think when the petroleum person at the garage goes, "Oh, sorry, it's an extra £1." I don't think, well, you've got to die. Can you just go in the back so I can strangle you with
Right, here's a hypothetical for you. What if you went through gender reassignment surgery?
Right.
And then got sent back in time? Would you do yourself?
Do you want to know something even madder? Right, so that's a hypothetical. I'll answer that in a second. There was one guy at university that I know that he didn't admit it because he didn't think there was anything wrong with this, and he said it like a matter of fact. He said he used to masturbate in the mirror to himself.
Oh.
Which is fucking... Imagine that. And
Adonis!
Right, and he was doing that, right? But then he said it when he had a few drinks, but he was saying... Like, of course, we all wrote one out, looking at ourselves.
We all stare at ourselves.
But he
said,
making eye contact.
and it was incredible because it blew everyone's minds because we were like, what? And he went, you know, when you sat in your bed and you're looking in the mirror and you're treating yourself, and it's like, we're like, nobody does that, bruv. Like, you know what pornography is? And he's like, yeah. And it's like,
so you don't have to look at a big lad who's also you.
Would I do myself, knowing how I perform in that department? Absolutely not, because it would be a disappointment squared.
It'd be very sweaty, wouldn't it?
You'd be doubly disappointed.
It'd be over
There'd be a lot of huffing and puffing.
It'd be like a big lad locomotive. Because I assume that I've got different genitals, but I'm still a big lad at heart. Chris,
I reckon my female version would be pretty attractive, so
maybe. All right.
It's just masturbation.
Should we leave you to the mirror, Sultan? You can have a lovely evening. Chris, what would you do?
Oh, it's exactly the same, mate. I mean, it would just be an absolute atrocity, wouldn't it?
It would be a train wreck.
Do you think Sultan's gone to Hollywood executives and gone, all right, boys, big Sultan's in the house.
Here's a movie.
Sit down.
Yeah.
You know the Terminator.
You know I say it's your boy Sultan.
You
know
the Terminator.
It's your boy.
They go, you know the Terminator, and they go, very good film, and he goes, right, Terminator 5. Arnold Schwarzenegger's got a fanny, and he's banging himself. What are we doing? Can we sign down the rights now?
Well, Hollywood did make that film Splice or whatever, so like they make some weird shit.
All right, that's cool. Yeah.
All right, cool. That seems a good place to end. So what we've learned is, so what we learned is orcs will go back to shoot themselves for their own gun. There's how to survive an event, I guess, or at least survive it long enough that you die on the day after. Brap wouldn't do it himself, but his mates would. And Chris likes Monster and giving himself heart palpitations.
Listen. If you come back from the future and you meet your past self, kill them before they kill you. Kill them as quick as you can. Just get a gun, get a knife, get anything. Kill them before they kill you. I have warned you. You have been warned. Also, we'd like to thank all the people that have written nice reviews about our podcast. There's been so many people that have written amazing reviews about the podcast. So I'm going to shout out PCC125, Degs, the Mighty Degs, Joram 1985, Kurt 86, Sergeant Mick 82, Ben Triple R, Martini Weenie, Hoko,
Martini,
the original Andy H, The Revenant. Ooh. All those people left amazing and super kind reviews on Apple Podcasts. Everyone leaving reviews. We can't get your name off Spotify or other platforms, but wherever you listen, please keep giving reviews because it pushes up the charts and it makes other people find our podcast, which really helps us. So thank you so much to everyone giving us reviews. We've read them all and we absolutely love them. Also, big shout out to LA French, who does the theme tune to this. If you want to check out more of his lo-fi hip-hop and all his great stuff, go on lafrench.bandcamp.com. That's just the word, the letter L, letter A, and then french.bandcamp.com.
Yeah, thanks, LA French.
Thanks
all of our listeners. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
I love you. I love you very much. Thank you.
He's going to wind up to a bye here, but we're also going to do some self-promotion. If you want to see any of my work or any of my nonsense, I can be found on the Deployment Zone, deploymentzone.tv, or on Winter's YouTube channel, but my Instagram is also DZTV_Brapscallion. Sultan, big yourself up. Big your bad self up, bruv.
DZTV_Sultan for Instagram and Sultan Plays on YouTube.
Okay. Right, you can find me on DZTV_Warsmith_Chris then, if you're that way inclined, on Instagram.
Chris, you've got to like sell it a bit more than like you can't be passive aggressive with the sell.
Okay,
right. We're 1 hour and 5 minutes. We're deleting 5 minutes of this. We got to go. We're out.
Bye, everyone. See you next time.
Bye.